special presentation of HBO's Sports of the 20th Century.
And right now, Thomas Hearns is an open book to Ray Leonard. Backs up against the ropes.
This is one of the most unusual calls by a referee in the history of the sport. The first loss.
A tremendous victory. Leonard fighting off the ropes.
It happened. It happened. Uppercut by Douglas. Down goes Tyson.
Hooks in right hand shot.
Lennox Lawrence knocks out by Tyson.
Slumps to the canvas.
The champion struggles to stay on his feet.
How do you like it? How do you like it?
Hello, I'm Jim Lampley. Welcome to this look back at the stories behind Leonard Hearns, one of the most memorable fights in 30 years of boxing on HBO. We focus on a pivotal bout in boxing history. 10 years after an unbeaten Muhammad Ali faced off for the first time against unbeaten Joe Frazier, another classic boxer met another fearsome puncher in another summit meeting of rising stars. Like Ali and Frazier before them, welterweights Sugar Ray Leonard and Thomas Hitman Hearns were the two biggest stars of the moment.
Welterweight championship of the world. It is probably the most talked about fight in history.
This was everything people in prior eras remembered about Dempsey, Tunney, Robinson, Basilio, or Louis Schmeling. This was that level of rivalry.
It was clear that they're the best of their era and had the potential to be among the greatest welterweights of all time.
There was a sense that something very big was at stake in terms of who would be the signal figure in boxing for years to come.
By one punch either way, it would have changed the course of history.
In the late 1970s, boxing stood on the brink of a new era, as the ring's most charismatic figure began a slow fade into the twilight of his luminous career. And a young Ray Charles Leonard dreamed of following in the footsteps of his heavyweight idol.
I saw Muhammad Ali and I wanted to be so much like him. He was more than a boxer. He was considered an entertainer, an artist. He was transcending the sport of boxing.
He always said that one day, I'm gonna be that champ. I used to come from parties, come home like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Ray out there jogging around the track. I'm saying, what are you doing, man? He said, I'm training for the Olympics.
There is Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard from the United States, who's been such a popular favorite here so far. Young man from the Washington, D.C. area, Palmer Park, Maryland.
Early on, it was very clear that there was something special about Sugar Ray Leonard.
Some people have the knack of winning you over. It could be a smile, could be a wink, could be a wink and a smile. Ray Leonard had that knack.
What are you going to do to him with the right?
Well, I'm planning on moving on him, and I know I can catch him.
And you know, I was there in Montreal, and here was 20,000 people with 20,000 American flags clapping him home. And believe me, he had to do the Ali Shuffle. That was a must.
Sugar Ray hit him at least 10 times with rapid-fire punches. What a stylish fighter this Ray Leonard is.
He was explosive, exciting, and people loved to watch him fight.
The crowd goes wild. Ray Leonard upon the Park barrel. His dream is realized as he has won himself a gold medal.
But America's golden boy returned home from the Montreal Olympic Games, facing the financial burdens of his family and growing aspirations for his young son.
My family was really down and out, and I felt it was my obligation to really help him out. Little Ray, he's 3 years old. I'm going to make sure that he has all the things that I didn't have when I was coming up. Who's your favorite boxer? There you go.
Making his professional debut here, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Leonard earned an unprecedented $40,000 in his professional debut, fast-tracking from a gold medal to a gold mine.
Ray and I both came from very low-income families. And after the Olympics, it was just rags to riches overnight.
Number 7.
Number 7. Number 7, baby. Right,
With the help of Muhammad Ali's acclaimed trainer, Angelo Dundee, Leonard soared to a welterweight world championship in only 3 years, confirming his arrival as boxing's face of the future.
When Ali left, we never thought there would be another major attraction. Sugar Ray had it all. He had the looks, he had the ability, he was agreeable to white America, and not only just black America. Sugar Ray was a marketing marvel.
Reaching up, feeling up. Sugar Ray's turning 7 up. America is turning 7 up.
This is a boxer, you know, this is a gladiator, and he's been, celebrity-wise, he's been moved over to the entertainment field.
So you're the champ, huh? Yeah.
His popularity was something that transcended the boxing world. There were people who never watched boxing at all who knew who Ray Leonard was.
Sugar Ray Leonard was sort of the mini Ali. He was the most charismatic and accomplished fighter out there and had a chance to become the most important figure of his time in the ring.
But early in Leonard's career, his supremacy appeared threatened by a burgeoning young fighter named Thomas Hearns.
Thomas Hearns was physically unique, very broad back, very long arms, and because he was so thin in the legs, he could carry 147 pounds and still be 6'1".
He was just a freak. I mean, a freak that someone can put this body together and give it the ability and know how to use it. And that was Emmanuel's job, showing how to take this body and make a champion out of him.
Eager to escape the dilapidated streets of Detroit's inner city, Thomas Hearns trained under the yet unproven talent of Emmanuel Stewart in the 100-degree lair of the legendary Kronk Gym.
The heat in that hellhole will run a pretender out. When you get down there are these fighters, row upon row of fighters. Skinny, flawed fighters, undernourished, overdosed, but you could see the will in their eyes.
Thomas Hearns, among the original Kronk fighters, was not the most naturally talented, but what made Thomas so special was his unbelievable determination.
I knew from day one that Emmanuel Stewart would definitely look out for me and guide me, not just to develop me as a fighter, but to develop me as a young man.
Still awkwardly growing into his lanky frame, the teenage Thomas Hearns failed to qualify for the 1976 Olympic trials. So the following year, both trainer and fighter turned professional, where the keen Stewart quickly unveiled the hidden potential in Hearns' lethal right hand.
The right hand was a creation of Emmanuel Stewart. He always made sure that when Tommy punched, that he would punch from a distance where he would extend his whole arm, and so he would get the snap out of it.
Tommy Hearns started out in first fight, knockout, second fight, knockout, third fight, knockout. I mean, I'm talking about these are knockouts in the first, second, third round.
It's over. He hit him with some right hand. A third-round knockout for Thomas Hearns, his 19th knockout.
I have never seen a welterweight hit as hard as this kid. Nobody. With his size, he's going to get to anybody, any of these welterweights. That's for real. Nobody is going to beat this kid.
He's the Motor City Cobra. He's the hitman, Tommy Hearns.
The arrival of Thomas Hearns provided the fuel for an economically depressed Motor City, hungry for a new champion.
Not since Joe Louis came roaring out of Detroit back in 1934 has this town been so excited about a fighter as they are about Tommy Hearns.
This was the rebirth of boxing in the city of Detroit. Thomas was our secret weapon.
The hometown crowd here in Detroit on their feet with another standing ovation. Hearns has received so many of those here.
They were loud and they were bold and you know, they weren't above heckling, but Tommy wasn't like that. He was the nicest, most polite, you know, quietest kid in the world.
His biggest concern always of any fight did the fans enjoy. He was always concerned about the fans first, and that he gave his best.